As we re-enter our lives after Pesach, we're joined to remember the words said to the Chacham. That Korban Pesach, the taste of Gula, the taste of Emunah, is supposed to linger in our mouths. So what should be lingering in our mouths after Pesach? What do we want to take with us? Certainly we want to take the Emunah we felt, Leil Seder, the Emunah we felt eating the Matza, the Emunah we felt becoming B'nai Chayrin. How do we do that in this society, in this world, in this life, which is such an antithesis to the entire experience of the Yontif of Pesach? Chazal give us an Eitzah. What's the Eitzah? Tefillah. Tefillah is Emunah. What's the Emunah of Tefillah? That the Ribbono Shel Olam is a Kol Yochel. He can do anything. He loves us. He listens to us. He wants to hear us. He wants to answer us. That's what we need to think about. We need to take away from Pesach. But perhaps we can go even further. The Gemara tells us in Brachos, a person who davens is not answered. He should go daven again. Shenemar, Pesach says in Tehillim, Kaveh el Hashem, you should hope to Hashem. Chazek v'yamis libecha, strength and gird your heart with Kaveh el Hashem. And Kaveh el Hashem once more. How do we understand Chazal, or David Melech, that if we're not answered the first time, we should daven again? Is it to show we don't give up? To show that we know a Kadosh Baruch Hu can do it? Is that what the Torah wants from us? Or perhaps something else? The Metzudas Davis tells us that when we daven again, we daven that second time, it's in the schus of the Emunah that we have, that Kadosh Baruch Hu can do it, that was gives us a schus, a new schus to be answered. The second time davening, we're coming in more with the first time. It's not just a repetition, the fact that we show we didn't give up yet. But the second tefillah is different than the first tefillah. It has this booster of Emunah. How can we understand this? Perhaps with a mashal. Imagine a father, very wealthy man, multi-billionaire, and his son has a business idea. He wants to be an entrepreneur. He comes to the father for a loan. He needs $100,000 to start the business. Father can write him a check. Won't even have to rebalance his checkbook. And the father comes to him. He's excited. And he shows the father the plan. And he says, Tati, I need $100,000. Can you help me? And he's all ready to get going with the business. And the father says, no. The son's confused. My father loves me. He has a lot of money. He certainly wants to help me. Why do he say no? The son, instead of being angry or being upset, says, Tati, please, I need the money. And he says, no. Comes 2-3 times. Says, Tati, please, you have the money, you love me, you want to help me. And finally, Tati says, okay. What was the father trying to accomplish? He could have written him a check the first time. He wanted the son to come to him. He wanted the son to need him. He wanted the son to connect to him. Perhaps that's what the Ribbono Shel Olam wants. He could answer us the first time. He has everything we want. He loves us more than we can imagine. He wants to help us. He wants our lives to be good. He showed us by Yetzias Mitzrayim. He did the impossible for us. And he's been showing us ever since. So why does he say no? Because he wants us to come to him again. He wants us to believe more in him. He wants to be connected more. He's Yoshev Mitzapa Tvilosin Shel Yisrael. He sits and he waits for Klal Yisrael to daven to him. That's what he wants. And that Emunah and that connection that we build through this tefillah, and even specifically when we're not answered, that's the Emunah that we need to come to from Matan Torah. Because in these weeks between Pesach and Shavuos, we want to be able to take the Emunah that we walked out of Pesach with, and not just to maintain it, but to grow it, to develop it, to make it more. So that becomes the platform of Kabbalos HaTorah itself. Let's take advantage of this time. Let's take advantage of these weeks to be able to daven, and even when we're not answered, to daven more with more Emunah the second time, or even the third time, because that's what the Rebbeinu Shem wants. He wants to pull the tefillas out of us, because not only does He want to give us what we want, He wants that connection to us. Be'ez Hashem should be matzliach in their tefillas, and Be'ez Hashem in the Emunah that we grow.